For generations, Indian farmers have practiced nature-friendly farming systems with holistic care of soil, plants and animals, and the practices of mixed farming, cropping and rotation. And India is known globally for her wide diversity of crops and products like teas, coffees, spices, nuts, fruits and vegetables. The global market for food and beverages is currently worth $75 billion. And is estimated to reach $100 billion by 2015. In most developed nations, the share of organic markets are at 6% of total food market values. Though organic is still a small constituent of agricultural production globally, but in India, interest in organic agriculture is seeing an upswing, both in domestic and exports, with production including the edible sector, functional food produce and fibers.
Fastest growing organic markets are in Asia, especially India, and India is raw materials country. So for me, coming from South Korea, India is a very attractive country because Korea imports over 76% of our food, you see. So in terms of Indian organic raw materials coming into Korea for processing, there's a huge market for that.
To support and promote this growing organic business, Nuremberg Messe India and the International Competence Centre for Organic Agriculture, in collaboration with the Government of Kerala, organised the 6th edition of one of Asia's largest international organic trade fairs, the BioFac India, together with India Organic Trade Fair in the city of Kochi. This year, the organic fair was co-located with the Global Agro Meet of the Government of Kerala.
So when ECOA was started in 2004, at that point in time we felt that we need to have a platform where people can come together, converge. So in 2005 we started a trade fair called India Organic Trade Fair. In 4 years this fair started to generate a lot of interest. Various international organizations started to come show interest. For example, IFOM from Germany and then the Nuremberg Messe from Germany. We started in 2008 deliberations, an MOU was signed, and from 2009 the fair became an international organic trade fair.
If you go abroad, of course, the movement is already quite vital and it's quite widespread already. So with ECOA, in the 6th edition of BioFac India together with India Organic, I think we've given the right platform for the organic producers, manufacturers and exporters to showcase what they have been doing for the last many years.
In the last 17 years, we have a huge experience how the market has really grown. When you talk about the organic product, it starts with the production at the farm level. So you need to really provide all organic inputs, seeds, and that is the challenging part. Once that is streamlined, later on you can do the value addition and you can export.
Organic is growing very fast in India as well as in export market. It's niche right now. There's a lot of hard work to be done right now, but I think it will give us very good results in the next 4 or 5 years.
This niche exhibition not only offered an optimum mix of exhibition, international conferences, and a networking platform to organic companies to successfully present themselves and their products, and also provided an opportunity for national and international buyers to do serious business, and policy and decision makers to interact and develop better strategies.
We've been producing and doing organic for many years, traditionally and conventionally, but we probably didn't even have that awareness, you know. So with this show, we've created a big domestic market.
The trade fair was inaugurated by Union Minister of Agriculture, Government of India, Mr. Radha Mohan Singh, the Chief Minister of Kerala, Mr. Oomen Chandy, and Minister of Agriculture for Kerala, Mr. K.P. Mohanan, in the presence of national and international dignitaries and delegates. The trade fair saw leading companies in organic agri-businesses, business-to-business meetings, and global buyer delegations and conferences on organic markets and opportunities with about 179 exhibitors, including many private, 12 state pavilions and a large number of farmers and consumers.
we also make sure that it remains to be pan-India and pan-international. So we have Himachal Pradesh, Karnataka, Assam, Sikkim, Nagaland, Mizoram, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra, tea board, coffee board, spices board. From the private, you can see some very large stalls. They are very closely associated with the fair. It helps them build brands. This is, in a way, a perfect PPP model.
The private sector is active in driving the organic agribusinesses forward. From only 75 crores in 2004, today India's trade in organic products has crossed 2,500 crore rupees and is poised to touch 6,000 crores in the next 2-3 years. Governments are also increasingly supporting the movement. The host state of Kerala has made a decision to strategically promote production and marketing of organic produce, with a new organic policy that looks towards making Kerala's farming sustainable, safe and organic.
We take a host state as a co-organizer every year. Like in the last 3 years, the government of Karnataka was a co-organizer and host. This year, the government of Kerala showed a lot of interest.
Kerala is now concentrating in the agriculture field. In the organic cultivation, we have already declared a policy, and in Kasaragod district, we have completely announced and implemented the programs for the total organic district. So the next we are targeting Kannur, Kozhikode, Malappuram and Palakkad. See that by 2016 we are planning the total organic state Kerala. That for that aim we are working.
So it's a very wonderful meet because it's agriculture and animal husbandry and organic. So altogether only we can make our state by end of this 2016 organic, totally organic एग्रीकल्चर स्टेट।
बड़ा अच्छा लगा, यहाँ के मुख्यमंत्री, कृषि मंत्री सब काफ़ी उत्सुक हैं, लेकिन पूरा देश ठहरा हुआ था, रुका हुआ था। अब 4-5 महीनों से जो स्पीड बढ़ा है, तो अगले 2-3 वर्षों में इसके परिणाम प्रकट होंगे।
The organic industry in Rajasthan is definitely coming up because farmers have also realized pesticide is not the way forward. If they want to keep the soil healthy, they have to stop using the pesticide, and not just the farmers, even the consumers are coming up. We started getting demands from tier 2, tier 3 cities now. So it's the way forward.
Organic food is a need of ours. There are some realities also. One reality is that yes, there is a supply chain issue. Indian market is a very small market and growing as a niche market. There, the economy of scale, achieving the economy of scale is a challenge for any organic company. Plus, all the organic players who are developing this market need a huge range of products. So that is putting a lot of pressure on them to keep the sustainability as far as inventory is concerned.
The trade fair has in fact 5 components. One is the trade fair and exhibition, where exhibits are coming. Then there is a buyer-seller meetings. The third very important component is the international conference. The other 2 are the food court and the Consumer Connect program.
The international conferences on organic agriculture held along the sidelines of the trade fair brought together about 39 eminent national and international speakers and over 249 delegates to deliberate and discuss on the need to connect organic approach to livelihood and markets for farmers and other stakeholders.
The objective of the fair and ECOWAS mandate is to mainstream it from the niche to the mainstream. For that, knowledge is also needed. People need to be aware of what is organic agriculture, how productions are taken care of, how the value chain works, and how markets are done. But then to do all this, you also need to have a lot of technical information brought into it and also market information. So the conference takes care of these components. There is sessions on technology, there are sessions on markets, there are also sessions on certification and how do you get certified, and also research and technology.
The Consumer Connect program created awareness about organic products and its relevance to food safety, health and environment. Over 100 students from different schools and many homemakers participated.
We primarily export organic soya bean, organic corn and couple of other products. In a very short period of time, this company, right from contract farming, dealing with farmers, to getting the product to a factory in Indore, cleaning it, packing it, and then exporting it to North America, Canada, and Europe. We have done extremely well.
We are now involved in promoting the farmer groups, especially from the tribal areas in Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, and Karnataka also. Going ahead, we have a very good potential in organic farming, organic trading, and organic exports from India.
Our main purpose is to promote, business with our international clients, and at the same time helping our farmers in India, especially in the backward areas, tribal areas, and ensuring that they get the fair price and they get the fair amount of business, and they can attain good standard of living eventually.
In terms of rice, we are one among the 3 largest exporters in India. We do a quantity of nearly 300,000 tons. That is around approximately 15,000 containers per year. And we are the first company in India which is certified fair trade rice, and the highest or largest volume of fair trade rice is going from our company. And we are giving huge contribution for the fair trade under the fair trade farmers. And I can say that we may be the #1 company in India who spend maximum for money for the farmers' development.
Well, I think a lot of exposure has happened. Hopefully, it's our first year out in the market, so hopefully we'll get to expand our market, grow our business a little more. There have been some international buyers, a lot of domestic buyers who've been interested, and now we want to see how we follow it up.
APIDA has created a platform for facilitation of organic export through National Program on Organic Production. As on date, we have 26 certification bodies who certify organic produce, and through an elaborate system of traceability, where traceability is maintained up to the farm level, these products are certified and sent to countries like US, EU, Canada, and other developed countries.
The organic certification is not basically a product certification, but it is a process certification, wherein people from our CBs, they visit the project and they validate the practices followed, as well as they test samples for any contamination available in the project or the produce. This is a platform where we basically interact with people and help them to understand what is the certification process.
The Buyer-Seller Meet is a structured business program tailor-made for trade visitors with an aim to bring exhibitors in contact with right buyers from across the world. The trade fair saw about 21 international buyers from USA, Germany, Italy, South Korea, the Netherlands, and the Middle East.
So trade fair is all about business generation. So the buyer-seller meeting is the real focus of that part, the trade part. Some are interested in spices, tea, coffee, rice or different varieties of rice, oils, sesame, other oils, soybean and its value-added products. So now we know the buyers, and now it is our, as an organization, we play this role that we track out who has got this supply base, who could be the seller, and then we register those sellers. Many of them are exhibitors, and we do what is a perfect matchmaking.
It was very interesting and inspiring. I had a very nice meeting with an association of small farmers. They're producing also other goods like spices.
I was looking for new projects. We stay in the tea business since nearly 30 years. And we have done a lot of projects from the conventional to the organic. We helped our partners in India, China, in Africa, in Burkina Faso, South Africa, that they go from the conventional to the organic products, because we like to have a good product from them, all in organic. And so I'm here the last 3 days at this fair to look if there is a new project for us. And I found a few very interesting things, like spices and also tea, which I didn't know yet.
I'm here for meet farmers and sellers, and I'm happy to meet directly the seller. And this is important because it's not so easy out of here.
We have some proud food meetings with the buyers, international buyer, and we have sold approximately 150 ton rice and pulses in this fair. And it's a good thing for us.
We deal with almost all organic products that you would require to make a meal. We have cereals, pulses, spices, oils, sweeteners, health products, and we have a range of breakfasts that we launched today here at Biofact.
We are a company who is strongly promoting millets, which we call forgotten food grains of India. There are about 8 wonderful varieties of millets which we are now not using much. We are now restricted only to rice and wheat.
In terms of our business, we see a lot more potential in the domestic market than in our export markets, because the market here is growing at almost 100% growth, at least for us.
Biofacts helps us to meet the organic farmers who are there. They also get an opportunity to meet the exact the manufacturers directly.
I was very happy to see so many farmers here. I mean, because when you come to trade fairs, it's basically B2B, basically business to business, right? But here, it's very vibrant, dynamic with so many farmers here.
The trade fair also brought a unique concept of sustainable bio-villages into focus, a logical extension of the concept of livelihoods based on development of organic farming that will aim at increase in farm and rural incomes.
Organic is not just stopping of chemicals. Organic agriculture goes beyond that. That is livelihood, increase in income of farmers, better food to the consumers, and environmental protection. Everything put together. So it is trying to address all the aspects of livelihood, markets, and a third very interesting new concept called the bio-village. The whole area becoming organic and taking care of various objectives. For example, a farmer, just by stopping chemicals, may become certified organic. But what is the real benefit that he or she will accrue from it? We are looking at a farmer's land and trying to increase income per acre or per unit area. For that, a farmer will also have to keep animals like cow, sheep, goat, some poultry. Then he or she can also make biogas. And if all these concepts comes together, they can become entrepreneurs. They can do business from these parts. Plus, it can also become a beautiful ecotourism spot.
An MOU was signed between Gozan County, Korea with Molvam village in Dimapur, Nagaland and the Pannathadi Panchayat in Kasaragod, Kerala to initiate the build-up of mutual cooperation between the local self-governments, with an objective to share experiences of creating bio-villages, eco-towns and organic provinces from different countries in Asia.
The IFOM Asia started to take interest that why not we have a sharing of knowledge and information between Asian countries. The MOU is an alliance of these bio-villages. A bio-village in South Korea, a bio-village in Philippines, a eco-town in China, and our Kasaragod bio-village and Nagaland bio-villages. These are now coming together like an alliance of local self-governments. Here is where the real knowledge sharing will happen.
Organic agriculture is absolutely necessary, but the development of organic agriculture should go beyond the development of individual farms and individual farmers and go towards a more comprehensive development of organic agriculture. So when we say the Bio-Village project, we are linking up organic agriculture with community village development, because then it will be more comprehensive, more effective and more sustainable. So taking this forward, we will be signing an MOU with Kerala and Nagaland and even Sikkim in the near future, and we will take this project forward to include many other countries in Asia.
Actual Indian state governments has a declared organic policy, but not many of them has a clear roadmap. So therefore what happens, some of the states are doing much better and some of them are not doing all that good. For example, Sikkim. Now Sikkim is a very small state, 60,000 hectares, and they plan to become 100% certified organic. And now they will become that in 2015. Perhaps, while this is a good case study and a success story also, but maybe some another state will have their own different challenges.
One of the biggest challenges was the hurdle of changing the mindsets of the officials. The officials said it just can't happen because, we're going to lose productivity, farmers are going to get into ruin, and so on and so forth. Farmers naturally, some of them don't change, but through a process of intense awareness building, we've managed to do that.
पहाड़ में तो ज़्यादा दिक्कत नहीं होती, जो मैदानी क्षेत्र में है उत्तराखंड का उसमें थोड़ी दिक्कत है, लेकिन अब लोग समझने लग गए कि जो केमिकल की खेत है उसकी मिट्टी बहुत टाइट हो जाती है जिससे पानी रुकता है और उससे फसलें सड़ जाती है, और जो हमारे ऑर्गेनिक खेती है उसमें पानी ज़मीन के अंदर चले जाता है और खेत की फसलें सड़ती नहीं है, ये लोगों को दिखने लगा है.
We have near about 7 lakh hectares under organic farming and near about 1.5 lakh hectares under organic certification. And more than 65,000 farmers are there. We are trying to promote organic farming in our state, and we have also declared our organic farming policy last year.
Converting a farmer from conventional to organic is a big challenge because the production, they lose the production in the first 2 years, which is a loss to the farmer. But as organic, we get good prices. All these losses are covered in the next when they are certified.
The conference concluded with a special session on IFOAM Organic Leadership Course Graduation Ceremony, felicitating 16 future organic leaders from 8 countries. The increased participation at this 6th edition in Kochi reflected the growth of the organic movement, sending a very positive note for the industry, farmers, as well as consumers of organic, safe and healthy farming and food.